feeling super rough from the night before and needed something to sort myself out. I knew I had the makings of fried rice in the kitchen and knew I'd be able to riff off that, adding bits as I went according to how I was getting on. Most great fried rice starts with spring onions, garlic and ginger, so I got them chopped up nice and fine to increase the amount of flavour they could add to the dish while reducing cooking times further down the line. It's always a good idea to get really well prepped before making something like this because it all comes together super quick in the pan. It also gives you time to think about how to make something like fried rice a little more inventive. I beat a couple of eggs with soy sauce for seasoning, corn flour for stability and a splash of water for tenderness. So I knew I wanted curds of egg through my fried rice but didn't want them to dry out. It was while beating the eggs that I realised I had give or take the makings of a full English breakfast in the fridge and could make some sort of fry up inspired fried rice. I grabbed my first full English essential from the fridge, mushrooms. I ripped them up a bit, keeping their natural shape, drizzled over nice sesame oil, seasoned with salt, tossed a coat and got them roasting to intensify their flavour without having to look after them too much. Next up was bacon, or pancetta in this case. I chopped it up to the same size as the aromatics because I knew I could form the base of the fried rice with its smoky, fatty goodness. Next, I had to think about balance. Often I reach for sharp, sweet tomato ketchup when having a full English, but couldn't quite bear the thought of eating rice with that. So I grabbed some black vinegar for acidity, rice wine for fragrance, sugar for sweetness, Worcester sauce for a nod to both ketchup and Cantonese cooking. Finally, I added tomato paste to bring things back to a ketchup fry-up world. My thinking here was that I could make my own interesting cheats ketchup inspired by the flavours you might normally associate with Chinese cookery. It tasted good but needed cooking. I whacked it in the microwave for a couple of minutes to get rid of that raw tomato taste. To make the fried rice, I cooked the egg over a high heat in plenty of oil until just set, then tipped it back into the bowl ready for cooking again later. I added the pancetta to the pan, allowed it to get a bit crispy to develop flavour, then added my onions, ginger and garlic. I fried everything until super fragrant. Next, I tipped in a pouch of cooked rice. I love to use leftover rice usually, but didn't have any here. After that, I went in with chili oil for heat, fragrance and a savoury hit from MSG, salt for balance, the egg from earlier and fried everything over a high heat until smoky wok-like flavours started developing. I spooned the rice into a bowl, topped with the crispy mushrooms, little dabs of the sauce for contrast and spring onions for freshness. It tasted great, brought me back to life and filled the breakfast-shaped hole in my heart while not weighing me down.